Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Keene, first of all, and welcome to Filtrine Manufacturing Company. It's really a pleasure to host you all here and kick off Manufacturing Week here in New Hampshire. I really want to thank New Hampshire MVP, the New Hampshire Department of Business and Economic Affairs, and the New Hampshire Department of Education for pulling this all together. I also want to recognize everybody who's in attendance, all of the elected officials, Governor Sununu, Senator Jay Kahn, and all of the representatives from our federal delegation. Thank you for coming to Filtrine. We're thrilled to have you and happy to host you for a tour after this little presentation. So I really can't emphasize enough how great a time it is to be looking at manufacturing at this time for our state. There are lots of manufacturers. I know most about the ones in southwestern New Hampshire, but they're growing. They're growing leaps and bounds for a variety of reasons. And just to highlight a couple of them, we have Smiths Medical just received a $20 million investment to help provide syringes and packaging for the eventual COVID-19 vaccine that will be utilized across our country. Really exciting. They're looking to add up to 100 positions. Corning's facility in Keene continues to be one of the largest diamond turning operations in the world, and they've expanded their what they offer to get into all kinds of interesting, amazing applications that you would never know were contributed to by a company right here in Keene. They work with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, all kinds of exciting programs, the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter program, and many, many others right here in Keene. And that's the beautiful thing about manufacturing, something that I've noticed since I've been involved promoting manufacturing as a manufacturer myself, is there are so many hidden gems in this state that are doing nationally and internationally relevant things right in your backyard. Amazing. Mimage is another one. Right here in Keene, they make printers. So if you ever had an M&M, you might have had the M on the M&M was made from a printer from Keene, potentially. And they're getting into all different applications because they're one of the only companies that makes a printer that can print on N95 masks. So obviously their business is starting to grow as well in that area. Here at Filtrine, we make process coolers for the medical industry in all types of different applications, everything from Krispy Kreme stores to Sam Adams Brewery. We make brewery coolers, and we make chillers for MRI machines, linear accelerators, all kinds of equipment. We also make drinking water fountains and water filtration equipment for a variety of applications for some of the highest profile buildings all over the world, right here in Keene. So, as I said, the importance of exposing young people to fulfilling careers in manufacturing is vitally, vitally important. Our manufacturing group, our local one in southwestern New Hampshire, talks about this every month that we meet. How do we expose more young people to manufacturing, get them interested, and turn them on to these exciting careers, these opportunities that provide a tremendous opportunity to become an entrepreneur, to learn a skill, management. There are few industries that provide that many different areas where you can expand and grow your personal expertise. So I would just highlight one story very quickly. A few years ago, we had an intern, Tanner, who started as an intern at Filtrine from Keene High School, the last 2 years of his high school career. He worked for us part-time for his last 2 years of high school because he quickly proved his value. He went on to Keene State College, and he continued to work for Filtrine part-time at Keene State. He proved himself so valuable that he was able to convince us to pay for a couple courses each semester that he was in college. And he worked for Filtrine for 4 years throughout college. When he graduated, he had 6 years of manufacturing experience along with his degree. He got a lot of his college paid for, and he also worked on some amazing projects that were able to build up his resume. He worked with the US Navy to develop a troop hydration station. He worked with prime contractors all over the country, and he was able to accumulate several really amazing recommendations. So think about where Tanner was when he graduated from college compared to where he would have been if he had not sort of gotten into manufacturing. leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else applying for the jobs that he was applying for. And he landed a really quality position. And that's really just one example, but I think that's what we're all striving for. It's possible here in New Hampshire. We're a small state, we're innovative, we're collaborative, and if we get things in sync, stories like Tanner's can be widespread across the state. I know they can, and that's part of this. There's something really fulfilling and special about working every day and leaving something tangible that you made behind. And that's something that manufacturing can really give you. And these opportunities are really widespread, and I'm really thrilled that the state is focusing their attention on manufacturing today and in the month of October. Again, on behalf of Filtrine and the City of Keene, I want to welcome you all and thank you all for putting this on. Thank you. And now, Governor Sununu is going to say a few words.
Oh, great. Thank you. Great. Thanks. Well, thank you very much. I got to tell you, you guys are lucky to have a guy like George. I mean, you really are. Not just here at Filtrine, but in the entire Keene area. Anytime we have issues, whether it's at the university level or we're talking about manufacturing, we're talking about business, we're talking about how making New Hampshire more attractive, it's George and a lot of the folks that he brings to the table in Concord. It's just awesome. So thank you so much. And thanks for having us here this morning. I just want to take a couple minutes and just kind of highlight a few of the those ideas that George is talking about and some of the practical implementation of making sure that New Hampshire stays competitive with business, with manufacturing. So many folks drive down the road, and you might drive past a Filtrine, or you drive past a Timken or some other great manufacturer out here, and you might not even know what's going on behind those doors. And that's really what we need to do. We need to open the doors up, and not just the businesses open them up, but making sure that the high schools, making sure the community college system, the university system is being that two-way street, that connector, if you will, for our students and for our workforce of tomorrow. There are jobs available today like you can't believe across this state, and a lot of them are in this high-tech manufacturing. They are incredibly high-paying jobs. They could provide incredible opportunity for not just to come in and, the old manufacturing, I think people think you're still just pulling a drill press or something like that. We're doing some wicked cool stuff, just to use a New Hampshire term, some wicked cool stuff here in the state of New Hampshire. And whether you're out here in the Monadnock region, on the seacoast, or up north, the kind of new world economy is manufacturing, specifically some of the high-tech manufacturing that we specialize here in New Hampshire. It's coming, and it's coming from all over America and all over the world, and they're landing right here in New Hampshire. The COVID pandemic and epidemic has been devastating economically for the entire country, we know that. But as we start flexing things open, as we start coming out of it, New Hampshire's just in a better position than most any other state, and folks are making those choices to bring their entire businesses here, to bring their families here, to bring that next generation of workforce here, and that's exciting. We can't take it for granted. We really have a model of success here, but we got to kind of double down and not just kind of, when you're in a good position, you don't just hit cruise control. I think you put your foot on the gas and go faster, and highlighting these opportunities. So what do? We have our things like our dual and concurrent enrollment programs, which allows like high school kids to at the same time be taking courses in our community college that are many times funded and supported by the private sector of high-tech manufacturing. They actually put their equipment into these programs, so that students aren't just learning theoretically, they're actually learning on the equipment, and then it's a nice warm handoff, if you will, right into that manufacturing facility or that business enterprise. It's really making sure that we're training the workforce of tomorrow all the way back into I think it goes back to middle school, frankly. If you start talking about computer coding and getting kids exciting about doing cool stuff. And that's what high-tech manufacturing it is, frankly. It's wicked cool stuff. It's fun, and it's something that I think kids can get excited about if we can introduce it to them that much earlier. Making the investments in the community college, making the investments in the university system, which is so critical. A lot of folks, someone was asking me as I came in today, we pushed really hard. My budget had the $9 million for Keene State around manufacturing and enterprise. The legislature didn't agree, but that's okay. We're not going to be deterred. We're going to come back at it. The student debt repayment programs as well. A lot of folks got excited about that. Didn't get it in the last legislature. I'm confident we're going to go back after it again and get it done this time, because it's just about creating those opportunities. So you can't get deterred when something doesn't, when you don't get everything that you're looking for. I think because of the position New Hampshire is in, we have a lot of momentum going for us, and working with the folks in Concord, or folks here in Keene, or in other regions of the state that are making a lot of these investments for their workforce. The last thing I want to talk about is housing. Housing is a big barrier right now, right? Making sure that at a localized level, not just here in Keene, but in some of the, I'll call it the suburbs of Keene a little bit, that we're getting those towns to understand some of the zoning and planning challenges that might exist there. We don't want housing to be that long-term barrier. So as a business like Filtrine or Millipore over in Jaffrey or whatever it might be, they're gonna start putting literally hundreds of new employees right here into this part of the state of New Hampshire. They gotta have a place to live. And there's great ways to do it, there's affordable ways to do it. There's ways to do it with where the architecture really blends into the style of your town, and every town might be a little different. So we're really trying to incentivize towns to make those investments, work with them in the right way to break down those barriers. You just can't, if you create a great product, you can't assume it's gonna sell. Unless you go out and you market it, you find out where the barriers are, you break them down, and actually you create those opportunities for those individual families. So those are just some of the things we're working on at the state level. We're very excited. Folks are coming in. We just need to keep creating that opportunity for those individual families, for those individual businesses, business tax cuts and all that kind of stuff. These are all the things that open doors of opportunity. So we are recognizing Manufacturing Month for the month of October 2020. Should I read? I have a proclamation. You want me to read the proclamation? Okay, I'm gonna read the proclamation. Bear with me. There's a few whereases in here, as you'll hear. A proclamation recognizing Manufacturing Month here in the state of New Hampshire, October 2020. Whereas the state of New Hampshire has a long and vibrant history of manufacturing that plays a vital role in the state's economy, and the manufacturing industry continues to transform as technology advances and offers high-paying jobs and high quality of life for our residents. And whereas New Hampshire manufacturing companies lead in some of the most competitive and cutting-edge industries, including aerospace and defense, biomedical, precision, electricity, high technology, plastics, composites, and many others. And whereas local manufacturers have collaborated with our community colleges, technical and vocational schools, university and colleges to train a new generation of employees that understand the importance of manufacturing to our economy and the growth of businesses and industry in the Granite State. And whereas there are approximately 2,000 manufacturing companies in the state of New Hampshire alone that produced a host of products available in New Hampshire, across the United States, and delivered to consumers around the world. And whereas New Hampshire manufacturers set aside their production schedules to develop and produce equipment, devices, and products to ensure the health and safety of frontline and essential workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas several virtual events will take place across New Hampshire this month to highlight the work and products made by local companies, and through the efforts of the New Hampshire Department of Business and Economic Affairs and the New Hampshire Manufacturing Extension Partnership, we will highlight New Hampshire as a leader of manufacturing and business opportunities. Now therefore I, Christopher T. Sununu, Governor of the state of New Hampshire, do hereby proclaim October 2020 as Manufacturing Month in the state of New Hampshire and call this to the attention of all of its citizens. Thank you guys very much. Let's keep rolling along. There's so much opportunity out there to get it done. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
Thank you very much, Governor. Next we have Will Arvelo from the Department of Business and Economic Affairs. Thank you, Will.
Thank you. Well, I'm not as good as the mayor or the governor and kind of speaking off the cuff, so I'm going to just read something very quickly. First of all, again, my name is Will Arvelo. I'm the Director of the Division of Economic Development. Good morning, and thank you for being here today to celebrate manufacturing in New Hampshire. I bring greetings from Business and Economic Affairs Commissioner Taylor Caswell. I want to thank the governor for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us today. I also want to thank Mayor Hansel for his support of the business community in general, but also specifically manufacturing. Finally, none of this would be possible without the leadership of Zenagui Brahim. Where's Zenagui, President of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership. Every year I get to witness Zenagui become so excited about this event, like a kid in a candy store. Zenagui, so thank you very much for your continued commitment to manufacturing in New Hampshire. Manufacturing Month is New Hampshire's homage to its rich history of making things that enrich and make our lives easier, give us better ways to do things, and keep us safe. We don't need to look any further than here. Filtrine Manufacturing where for more than a century, the Hansel family evolved water filtration into modern systems, and along the way, set an example for other manufacturers for reducing their carbon footprint and for using green processes wherever possible. With 70,000 people strong, manufacturing, this is data from 2018, that's the latest data we have, made up, let me take this off. That's good. Made up 20 billion in output, which is equivalent to about 20% of GSP. These numbers might be slightly less right now, but our manufacturers are coming back from the pandemic and will roar with new innovations of ways of doing business into the New Hampshire's future. COVID-19 global pandemic affected New Hampshire industries in ways we could not have imagined. New Hampshire manufacturers, well over 100 of them, quickly pivoted to meet the critical demand in the uncertain early weeks of last winter, retooling their production lines and training employees with a singular focus in mind to keep our communities and especially frontline workers safe. Several examples of companies that did this: Aline, Candles, and Milford made face shields. So Clean and Peterborough made masks. Coltac and Newport made gowns. Distilleries and breweries made, around the state made hand sanitizer. And the governor also gave many examples of other companies that are just doing tremendous things throughout New Hampshire. There are too many stories for this short time, but I urge everyone, the next time that you get the chance, to thank your local manufacturers for all they do and have done over the past 7 months to keep us safe. We know that most of our nearly 2,000 manufacturers in all corners of the state are on their way back to meet or exceed pre-pandemic levels of production. Your products are critical to bringing resiliency back to our supply chains. Better trained workforce will also be critical. As such, we need to work with K-12 and higher education to ensure the post-COVID workforce will have the skills necessary to make New Hampshire the shining star of manufacturing in the Northeast. As we celebrate National Manufacturing Day and kick off New Hampshire Manufacturing Month, I want to thank all manufacturers for all you do. You're the backbone of our economy, significant employers in our communities, and neighbors we can count on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Will, and I just want to give a special shout out to Will, Taylor Caswell, and the Department of Business and Economic Affairs. It really does mean a lot to have a proactive State Department working on economic development issues, available to answer the phone or respond with a quick email. It makes a huge, huge difference, and the business community certainly recognizes it. Next up, we have Senator Jay Kahn, our District 10 Senator.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you all. So I think for a long time, this southwest region of New Hampshire has had a rich history since the mid-19th century and transforming the manufacturing landscape locally, statewide, and in the nation. And it's that legacy that carries forward today that we continue to see the presence of manufacturing in this region to a greater proportion of the workforce than in any other region in the state of New Hampshire. It's interesting how our paths continue to cross. In 2008, Zenagui and I were in Leadership New Hampshire together. In 2010,
The best class.
Best class ever, absolutely. In 2010, while at Keene State College, with Susan Newcomer at the Chamber of Commerce, we formed the Regional Center for Advanced Manufacturing, the first collaborative created in the state between education and manufacturing, talking about the desperate need for workforce development, creating a pipeline from high school and, as recognized, middle school into the workforce through our high schools and colleges. Today, there are new tools, and whether we see it always the same way, the paths to linking education into the workforce. But we've got tools such as a career readiness credential coming out of high school, leading into college and the workforce through our career and technical education centers. And we've got a graduate retention incentive partnership to start up that will provide incentives without state funding that will direct our New Hampshire college and university system graduates into the workforce with workforce incentives and grants provided through our manufacturers. It's that kind of innovation that can advance that pipeline, and that we're all aiming towards that goal. With that in mind, and there's an important person who's not in the room today, but I gotta recognize Phil Souter. When I was interim president of Keene State, I hired Phil back into the Monadnock region as the director of Regional Center for Advanced Manufacturing, and still today as the Chamber of Commerce works with George, and he's still a great fan to organize the resources of this region together to express needs and to link resources. When given the opportunity to prepare a statement on behalf of the New Hampshire Senate, I jumped at that chance to produce a resolution. And so on behalf of the New Hampshire Senate, I offer to Zenagui Brahim a resolution on this day. Be it known that upon the 7th year of honoring New Hampshire's rich manufacturing tradition, that the New Hampshire Senate congratulates New Hampshire Manufacturing Extension Partnership and its many partners statewide, like Business and Economic Affairs, the Community College System of New Hampshire, the New Hampshire High Tech Council, and the Pre-Engineering and Technology Advisory Council. We congratulate all of those many partners on the kickoff of Manufacturing Month 2020. We recognize today the legacy of manufacturing in the Connecticut River Valley, spawned in the 19th century, that the Monadnock region still has the highest concentration of manufacturing workforce anywhere in New Hampshire. We recognize Keene State College's Sustainable Product Design and Innovation Program, started up about the same time that Will Arvelo began advanced manufacturing over on the other side of the state. That led the community college system of New Hampshire campuses. And together, those two examples with the public high school, career, and technical education centers are preparing the workforce sustaining New Hampshire's manufacturing tradition. We thank New Hampshire's manufacturers for sponsoring apprenticeships, extended learning opportunities, and in-plant visits that are motivating students for the workforce of the future. The Senate is proud to partner in manufacturing sector initiatives, funding on job training partnerships and grants, robotics education, Running Start dual high school college credit programs that enable high school students to earn a career-ready credential upon graduation. And be it further known that the New Hampshire Senate extends its best wishes to the companies, workforce, and educators leading our 20th century workforce goal towards 65 by 25 and our economic priority to manufacture in New Hampshire. Signed, Jay Kahn on behalf of the New Hampshire State Senate. Thank you all. Have a great month. I'll see you on October 29th on Manufacturing Summit, and I look forward to all the visits and the high school responses that we hear to the virtual tours that are being organized around the state. Thank you, Zenagui, for all that you do, and thank you for inviting me today.
Thank you very much, Senator Kahn. And last but certainly not least, Zenagui Brahim. He's with New Hampshire Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And for those who don't know exactly what NHMEP is, you know, along with doing the promotion of manufacturing throughout the state, and sort of, I think Zenagui has his hands in almost everything having to do with manufacturing in the state of New Hampshire. They're also sort of the center for lean training and 5S training and other certifications and education that are really absolutely critical for manufacturers here in New Hampshire. So I want to thank him personally for setting this all up, and without further ado, Zenagui Brahim.
I forgot to bring my notes. I just brought the wrong one. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thanks, George, for hosting the kickoff of Manufacturing Month. It's very, very important. We have done it for the last six years now, and every year we do it in one region. We pick a manufacturer in the region. So this year we're doing it in the southwestern region. I thank the governor for taking the time to join us today and read your proclamation. So that's very, it's an honor to have you today with us. Senator Kahn as well, and Will Arvelo. And we have representatives from our congressional delegation. They're all here, 4 of them. And that's, and the rest of the team here who are all members of the Department of Lona. Thanks for joining us today. The Manufacturing Month, we started it 6 years ago when it was announced from President Obama announced the first Friday of October as the Manufacturing Day celebration. So all of the MEPs, you all know that MEP is a national system at the U.S. Department of Commerce, right? And at the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Our mandate is to help manufacturers, small and business, size manufacturers in productivity so they can compete globally. But we did not celebrate for one day, we celebrated for the whole week. And we had students from high schools and middle schools visit the neighboring manufacturers. So it was the first MEP that did it for the whole week. I had to do a presentation for the whole national MEP system. They're all 50 states and Puerto Rico. And then last 2 years, instead of running, and then it became a month. October, the whole month of October. The last 2 years we did October and November. Schools wanted to get more and more students, and manufacturers were even more engaged to open their doors to give tours and talk about manufacturing and the career opportunities, career and internship opportunities for the students. The last 2 years also, we started getting middle schoolers, like you all mentioned, which is very, very interesting because we have to start at that age. I always say that if you really want the next generation to take over, the older generation that is today in manufacturing, and they're holding on to them because they don't have anyone else to come and take over, they're not going to fall from the sky. We have to build them from the bottom up. And that's the most important thing, whether it's manufacturing or any other sector of the economy. All of the 5 major sectors of the economy are having the same issues in building the future skilled workforce for their sectors. So the manufacturers are engaged this time, and last year when we ran the Manufacturing Month, we always ask the kids to write an evaluation for us. We have eight questions. First question asked everybody all the students to tell us if they know anything about manufacturing. So we had 62% of them did not know anything or know a little bit about manufacturing. And the others did, and they happen to be from CTEs, you can tell, of course, because CTEs have manufacturing programs. And then the last question, the other question is what will you take away and this and that. But the last question says, now that you have visited the manufacturing facility, will you consider, we didn't say will you sign up tomorrow, will you consider a career in manufacturing? 62% of them would consider or highly consider. So when you think about this, what would you say? Well, the first thing that came to mind at that time, it was amazing, impressive. The kids are telling us that we really want to know more about manufacturing. So Manufacturing Month, in my mind, is not just October or November now. It's the whole year. Kids should, the whole year, go at the schools need to get their kids to go and visit manufacturers throughout the whole year. When you visit in 1 month, you go to Filtrine. Next month, you go to Graphic Cast next door also. So, and you do it the whole year, not wait for it for just one period of, in the year. Everybody agrees with that, and we're really trying to push more and more. Of course, we celebrate at the statewide level Manufacturing Month, but I am urging all the schools to take their kids, and manufacturers are always open, by the way. I have to tell you that manufacturers, we have never heard manufacturers saying, no, I don't want to let the kids know about the cool stuff made in New Hampshire. We call it the cool stuff made in New Hampshire, like Governor Sununu has said earlier. We make cool stuff in New Hampshire. There's no need for me to mention that. I think you're going to tell them the cool stuff you make in New Hampshire in Keene today. So that's basically my message for Manufacturing Month. So we're doing it online now. A lot of people have told me, even the BIA, they had a major event. 130 people signed up, according to Dave Juvet, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then only 35 showed up. It was online. So he said to me, I asked him, I said, how was your experience? He said, it's tough running it online. There's a lot of logistics involved. So we decided to go ahead and do it. We do have the full month of October of manufacturers that have signed up to do presentations online, and then open up for an hour, 15 minutes, and the rest of the hour will be for questions and answers, Q&A from the students. The only challenge here is not from the manufacturers, it's from the schools. Some of the schools they have a hybrid teaching system now. Others, they have mostly online. And then the ELOs and the career counselors and coordinators are really kind of struggling with how to gather the kids to go through, to listen to the presentations. So we're taking a step at a time. In my mind, whatever number we get to listen to manufacturers this year, it's fine with us. And I know it's very, very challenging from the high schools and middle schools point of view. So that's what we have. So we're gonna do it, and thank you all for being here today to celebrate with us Manufacturing Month. Thanks.
Great. Michelle Cota from Senator Jay Kahn's office.
Take my foggy mask off. Everybody. So I probably won't read the letter because I know there's all of us are here, all 4 of us. But I just wanted to echo Governor Sununu and Senator Kahn and Arvelo for saying that I believe that Filtrine is the perfect company for this month's Manufacturing Month kickoff. Just the innovation, the scalability, the quality that has come from Filtrine over generations has, I think it's literally changed the world from like the first water bubblers to today the complex sterilization and cooling systems that come from here. Really, the world relies on it. So Senator Jay Kahn sent a letter with me to present to Mayor Hansel to recognize the leadership that Filtrine has in New Hampshire's manufacturing and in the world. So, and I also wanted to quickly recognize and thank Zenagui Brahim from the New Hampshire Manufacturing Extension Partnership, as well as the team with the Department of Business and Economic Affairs for their leadership that has created an environment in New Hampshire that allows companies like Filtrine to thrive in our state. So, and as Director Arvelo said, it's our whole state is just doing really well and on a national scale when it comes to manufacturing. So I guess I just wanted to, I think this is a perfect event. Thank you so much. I know it's a complex time this year, but I appreciate inviting us to be a part of this as well. And as we recognize our manufacturers in the state, the highly skilled workforce that we have here, the educational partnerships that keep that workforce pipeline going, and the manufacturing, what it does for our quality of life in New Hampshire. So thank you all so much, and I know Senator Jay Kahn would be here in person if she could, but I just wanted to give these messages to you as well. So I'll just leave them right here in this podium. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Michelle.